Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Volume 2, issue number 3 from Mirage Studios. This came out February 1994, and this is Evolution. So this takes place immediately after the previous issue, where we actually start off with the D.A.R.P.A building. We see some D.A.R.P.A soldiers, and they're trying to get into the room that Baxter was in. And they have to hack into the control panel to get it open, and they do. And for some reason, they know that Stockman is in there. So I guess they have some kind of history with Stockman. Or maybe Stockman was working for D.A.R.P.A before he turned against him. I have no idea. But apparently these soldiers, or at least the commander of the soldiers, knows of Stockman and knows that he's the one behind all this. And they're trying to find where Stockman is. And they find him sitting down in a chair. But when they get to him, they realize that the top of his head is sliced off and his brain is missing. And then that's when this giant robot shows up and impales one of the soldiers before shooting at the other ones and killing them. And it turns out that Baxter has basically cut off his brain and put his brain into this giant robot. So that's what he was doing in the previous issue. That's why he was shaving his head and drawing lines and stuff. So the robot approaches his human body and pulls off the glasses and stores them away and leaves. And then that's when we cut to Raphael checking out this building. I think it's supposed to be a church, and this is where he's gonna move in. And there's a brief moment where he sees this giant gargoyle, and he's like, "I hope you don't come alive." And it says Sea Turtles and Savage Dragon crossover. I'm like, no, thank you. I mean, I probably read it, but I'm not a fan of Savage Dragon. I never got the appeal of Savage Dragon. I never did. It seems over the top, trying to be super edgy and just not really. Especially now, modern day Savage Dragon is it's trying to be edgy, but it's just a bunch of left wing talking points that it's you're not edgy anymore. Now you just cringe. Maybe if you were making fun of both sides and stuff, that could be kind of interesting. But Eric Lawson is straight up hardcore TDS left wing, and you can see it in his comics. So it's now you're just kind of cringe, dude. You're just kind of doing what everyone else on TV is doing. You're not really all that interesting. Nothing about Savage Dragon stands out anymore. But whatever, that's a rant for something else. So yeah, Raph is going to move into a church. And then speaking of turtles living in places, we cut to Donatello living in Casey's farm, where a police officer shows up, and Donatello has to hide. And the police officer radios in and says, "Yeah, the place is empty, but it looks like there's someone here using the kitchen. So we might want to notify the owners of the farm." He's like, "Who are they?" "It's Arnold Jones." "Okay." Arnold Jones being Casey Jones. So I don't know if this police officer has some kind of connection with Casey Jones, because he does say, "Wait, did you say Arnold Jones?" So he at least knows the name. And then that's when we cut to New York City, and we cut to Casey Jones's apartment building, where we have Miss Tillett and Mr. Bronze. I think that's how you pronounce it. I have no idea who this guy is, and he kind of gives off a Lex Luthor vibes. So I wonder if he's going to be playing a big part in this, or if he's just a regular dude living in Casey Jones's apartment building. But yeah, Miss Tillett's kind of complaining about how the rent went up, and how she doesn't approve of the fact that Casey and April are living together with a child and they're not married. And Mr. Bronze is like, "Well, we've all done something that others might find quite, objectionable." So that's all right, now you're just making me even more suspicious. What kind of shady stuff have you been doing? So then we cut to Leonardo and Michelangelo, and Leonardo is showing Michelangelo this new spot in the sewer that Leo is thinking of moving into. He's like, "This thing has everything that we need. It's huge. We got plenty of space. It's dry. There's, the city's water and electricity, so we can easily connect that to this place." And yeah, he's like, "The entrance is kind of unprotected, but we can just break that off. And what do you think? This could be our new base." And Michelangelo's like, "Well, I've been thinking. I think I'm gonna stay in the apartment building. I kind of want to stay near Shadow." And Leo's like, "Oh yeah, that kind of makes sense. Like the two of you seem to get along pretty well. Yeah, Michelangelo's like, yeah, like, Casey and April said that, like, as long as if I don't make any noise, I should be okay. And me and Casey are gonna knock down a wall that will give me access to the sewer, so I'll be able to come and go as I please. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna stay at the basement. What about you? And Leo's like, well, I think I'm actually gonna move here. Like, this place just feels natural to me. And then they just kind of drift into the topic about the fact that everyone seems to be splitting up. How it's kind of strange. Like, I guess they're not used to that. And Leo's like, yeah, well, I guess like it's only natural that as we get older, we kind of want our own space. And Michelangelo's like, yeah, like, I got this heavy feeling like everything we know is over. And Leo's like, no, it's not over. Things are just different now. And then we cut to the desert where we see Baxter Stockman inside the giant robot. He's kind of like roaming the desert. I don't know where he's going. He's probably going to go meet the turtles or something. But there you go. That's the end of the issue. And I liked it. This was good. I do kind of wish we would get more like action. But I get what we're doing. Right now we're just kind of showing. We're building up the turtles. We're building up the fallout from issue number 1. How, it was both a blessing and a curse. What happened in volume number 1. The blessing, the fact that they were able to stop Shredder and defeat the Foot and stuff like that and save the day. But the curse being that now that their mission is over, there's nothing left for them. Now they have to find their own way. And they're completely lost because their entire life, they grew up with just one purpose, one mission. And that's to stop Shredder and the Foot Clan. But now that there's no Shredder and Foot Clan, or at least no enemy Foot Clan for them to have to deal with, they're just kind of like, now what do we do? And so they're all kind of having like midlife crisis. So I get that, you gotta show the aftermath, show where they're at now and stuff. I do just kind of wish things would pick up a bit more. And it looks like we're starting to. I mean, at least we're introducing Baxter as this new robotic villain. I'm assuming he's gonna come across the turtles at some point. And then we have Mr. Bronze, however you want to pronounce that name. At least he comes across as kind of suspicious. I'm assuming he's going to play a big part. So yeah, things seem to be heading in some kind of direction. Hopefully we get there soon. I've always loved when, my turtles are more like action-packed stories. Like, I mean, if you go through volume 1, you'll find that like my favorite issues were the ones that were just straight up action. It would be like the scene where they're fighting their way out of April's apartment building as it's burning down, or when Leo takes on Shredder in the duel as they're, as the other turtles are fighting their way through the building. Like, I love those kind of issues where it's just focusing on the big fight scenes. So I'm hoping we'll get to that soon. But other than that, I did like the issue. It's good. I like where we're going with this. And of course, we have the little cat story. And this one actually comes to an end in this issue. So, yeah, in the last issue, we left the story with the cat and the robot where the soldiers were plugging in this gun into an outlet, and then they shoot the robot. And just as they're shooting the robots, the cat jumps off the robot, and this weird dude with a hoodie breaks through a wall, Kool-Aid Man style. And the robot falls to the floor. It's deactivated. The cat's kind of knocked unconscious, and this strange Kool-Aid Man picks up the cat, and we just see it running through the alleyway with the cat. So the soldiers and the men who the soldiers were taking orders from were not able to collect the cat, and that's how it ends. I'm just like, okay, what was the point in this? Were you just trying to fill pages or something? It feels kind of weird. Like, you just have this cat robot story, and then it just kind of ends. The whole story was just a cat running through a laboratory, being chased by soldiers, finds a robot. The robot shoots at the soldiers. The soldiers shoot back, knocking the robot out of commission and the cat unconscious, just as some dude breaks through the wall, Kool-Aid Man style, kidnaps the cat, and runs away with it through the alleyway of New York City, I'm assuming. What was the point in that? That just seems really, really random. But whatever. It's done. So there you go. There is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, issue number 3 from volume 2, Evolution. Came out February 1994. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope to see you next time. Take care. Later.